Good day, humans. Poetic Dustbin here, back in the arena for what? Another deck? Yes. And it's a mill deck. Just like most of us here who created a mill deck, I have my own version. And it's a monoblue mill deck. Yes, and I call this deck Millosophy. Why? I don't know. There's just a word there that I can fit in. Pun intended. Millosophy, right? But anyway, so what's the deck all about? Well, it's all about milling the opponent. You see, there's been a pros and cons on a mill deck, right? One of this is when your opponent relies on their graveyard, well, there's like a 50-50 chance that you're gonna win because they're actually utilizing the graveyard to beat you. But anyway, on most of the decks here, like any other decks, would actually be pissed off playing off with a mill deck. So the deck is all about getting all of their library to their graveyard and making them draw. Actually, when they draw and they have nothing to draw, they lose. That's winning by mill. We have 4 teferistutelage here to actually, what do you call it, expedite the milling process. It adds up to the power of this deck. But before we get into most of the cards, let's just run down all of the cards inside Millosophy. For 1 drop, we have the, oh my god, it's the ruincrab. Everybody hates this card. Whenever they see it on 1 drop, they just want to kill it. So what does it do? What does a ruincrab? It looks like a mirelurk. You know what a mirelurk is? If you have played Fallout 4 or any other Fallout version of the games, you can see a mirelurk here. It looks like a mirelurk, really. Okay, it's a landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 3 cards. Simple, right? Okay, for 1 drop, we have an instant called Stern Dismissal. You return target creature or enchantment an opponent controls to its owner's hand. Very useful when you want to, bring back the opponent's creatures or enchantment. Like if it's a mirror deck, you can bounce their Teferistutelage, or just want to piss them off and they have put all of the enchantments inside their on top of their creatures, so they want to mutate, you bounce them, right? And we have something not common, just kidding, it's a common card, Unsummon. Okay, like everybody else would say, unsummon mo naman. Actually, when you cast this because you bounce their creature again and again for 1 mana casting cost, right? And we have Frantic Inventory. You draw a card, then draw cards equal to the number of cards named Frantic Inventory in your graveyard. It's a must on this deck. It's very useful actually. So how does it work? You cast it in the first. You cast it initially. You draw 1 card, right? Then this goes to the graveyard. You get another Frantic Inventory and you cast it again. Since there is another Frantic Inventory on the graveyard or in the graveyard, you get to draw 1 card, and plus the Frantic Inventory in your graveyard, so you get 2 cards. 2 cards, right? So, 3 Frantic Inventory on the graveyard, you get to draw 4 cards, right? And we have a, I don't know how to call this, two-face card, or I don't know, dual face cards, whatever they call it. It's blue land card and an instant card. It's Jwari Ruins and Jwari Disruption. So when it's a land, it enters the battlefield tap and produces blue mana. As an instant, you counter target spell unless it's control phase 1, only costs 2. Uh, it's pretty useful on this kind of deck, believe me. And we have, yeah, one of my favorite cards in this deck. It's Maddening Cacophony. Cacophony or Cacophony. I don't know how to say that, but forgive me if I said it wrong. I just want to say it like Cacophony. It's a sorcery, 2 casting cost, 1 blue and 1 colorless. It's a kicker card too. So Without kicking it, you get to mill 8 cards, but if you kick it and pay 4 mana with 1 blue on it, uh, you get to mill the opponent with, you get to mill them with half of their library rounded up. Got it? Rounded up. So if the opponent has at least 40 cards in their library, you get to mill them, right? Half of it, so 20. Okay? And we have Gate Stormcaller. It's a creature human wizard with a very powerful ability for this deck, right? And any other decks who runs on sorcery instance, blue, red, blue, black, whatever, blue, right? Yeah. Okay, it's also a kicker card. So it's a two mana casting cost, 1 colorless, 1 blue. When Gate Stormcaller enters a battlefield, you copy the next instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 2 or less. You cast this turn. When you cast it, how does it work? You put this down, right? And you're gonna cast Unsummon. So you get to duplicate that. So always remember this. You can only duplicate spells that has a mana cost of 2 or less. So most of my spells here running at around that casting cost. Let's just say you can duplicate Maddening Cacophony or Frantic Inventory and someone's turn Dismissal, But if you kick it, you get to copy that spell twice. So you get to unsummon. Well, how does it work? Okay, you put it down, you kick it, and you cast Unsummon. You can bounce 3 creatures from the battlefield. Capiche? Okay. Then we have, of course, my most favorite creature card here in blue. Brazen Borrower. Never run a blue deck without it. It's a adventure card. The Petty Theft that bounces target non-land permanent an opponent controls to its owner's hand. And the creature is a flash flying that can only block creatures with flying. Believe me, it's a pretty effective creature. Yep. And we have the new Jace Mirror Mage. It's a good planeswalker. Actually, it's underrated. I don't know, I abuse it and it's useful. It's a legendary planeswalker. It's Jace. It's also a kicker card. When you kick it, okay. Let's see. Okay. When Jace Mirror Mage enters the battlefield, if Jace was kicked, you create a token copy of Jace Mirror Mage, except that it's not legendary, and its starting loyalty is 1. So the abilities is +1, you get to scry 2, and 0. You draw a card, reveal it, and remove a number of loyalty counters equal to that card's converted mana cost. So how does it work? Explanation. You cast it without actually kicking it. You only have 3 mana on hand. Put it down, and you get Jace with a 4 loyalty counter. +1 it, you scry 2. When you use the other ability, 0, that's it, you draw a card and reveal it. When, let's just say, I drew into the story, which is 7 mana cost, it dies, okay? Or you get to draw, let's just say, Unsummon, and you reveal it, you remove 1 loyalty from it, since Unsummon only costs around 1 mana casting cost, okay? So let's just say you have a lot of mana and you're rich. You get another Jace Mirror Mage, which is not legendary and only has 1 loyalty, so you get to use 2 Jace at the same time. Drawback is it only has 1 loyalty, so my suggestion is sometimes I use scry first just to add, but at deep ends you can use draw and just kill it. Anyway, that's how it works, okay? And we have Teferistutelage. When Teferistutelage, damn, this deck, they have a lot of names that are very, very confusing too, very difficult to pronounce. When Teferistutelage enters the battlefield, you draw a card, then discard a card. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards. How does it work? Okay, when it enters the battlefield, You draw a card. Poof, there you go. But you get to discard a card. But since you drew a card, your opponent mills 2 cards. And next turn, you roll draw phase, you draw a card again, they mill 2 cards, you cast Frantic Inventory, you draw a card, and every time you draw, they mill 2. And it's also accumulating if you have 3 of these teferistutelage, uh, on board in the battlefield, on the battlefield, whatever you call it. One draw equals to 6 mill cards on the opponent. You get it, right? Okay. And we have into the story. How does it work again? This spell costs 3 less to cast if an opponent has 7 or more cards in their graveyard. So if you have milled already 8 cards from your opponent, it only costs around 4. It only costs 4, 2 colorless and 2 blue mana. Then you draw 4 cards. That's it. And we have a land, a dual face land. It's Gate Restoration. You draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. So if you have 2 in your hands, when you cast this, you get 3. You get to draw 3. Okay, that's it. It's dual face land. So it produces blue mana, and the other one you can make pay 3 life, so it won't enter the battlefield tap. And we have Gadwick, the Wizened. Played this before, you know this guy. He draws cards. Okay, when Gadwick, the Wizened, enters the battlefield, you draw X cards. You know that X on the casting cost, you get to pay that. But it has another ability that whenever you cast a blue spell, you tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. So when this is on the battlefield and you cast Brazen Borrower, you get to tap a creature from a non-land permanent, any permanent of your opponent. Okay, and you have for lands we have 15 island, 4 Fabled Passage, including the Gate Restoration, and 3 Jwari Disruption. So that's it. So I hope you understand how this works. Let's move on with the game. Alright, let's begin the game. Hopefully we're not going against Kroxa or the one with the Lurus, but sometimes you get lucky. You get to beat them, right? So here we are. Steve Mizzy. Wow. Let's keep it. No, we're gonna use that later. Too bad, boy. I'd like to draw. Oh my god, that's 2 octopus. Awesome. Awesome. No, not yet. Huh. Gadwick. Jace. Nah, let's that one. Polywog! It's a frog! Polywog is a frog! Never... Okay, that's okay. Discard. Good game, good game. Finally, eh? Anyway, yeah, like I said before, around 2 to 3 tutelage on the battlefield is a good thing. On to the next game. Alright, here's another game. For whatever purpose it is. To see how does a mill deck work. And how effective that is to face with another deck. Hopefully we're not gonna face a mirror deck, which is really bothering. Elder Jin. Alright, we have this one. Obviously we're gonna keep that. We're gonna cast in Fabled Passage first. Fabled Passage. Have that. We're gonna do this. And turn. Good luck. You can cast this one. Create another land. We can cast this one, and he's gonna have a Kroxa. Alright. Let's see. We can deal with Kroxa for now, actually. Awesome. So we're gonna let him cast this again. So it won't attack. Then it's gonna be our turn. Cast this one. Oh, tough choice. And he got pissed off. He just killed me. Not killed me, just stumped me. Chandra. What does it do? And turn. Because we want again, really. That's fine. Huh. Maybe counter it. Or cast something like, yeah, let him be. Okay, that's around 8. We have 2 of these 6. We can pass 4. Can draw 4. But 16, 25. That's actually 8. Just 8. 8. We draw 4, then we get 8. We get 8. Yeah. We're gonna cast it. We get 8. Yeah. Yeah, why not? That's just we get to get E16 sometimes from 8. Sakto lang actually. Terror of the Peaks. Just as we needed it. And I get, okay. And you get the attack. I get killed. Down to 8. What is not gonna last next turn? There goes the Kroxa, man. Easy peasy. Well, on to the next game. That's against Kroxa, okay? Against Kroxa. On to our last match for the day. Let's see who he's playing against. We have Haruto. Haru. Okay, we have Why would you do that? I don't know what this deck is all about, but it's really a bit scary because I don't know what it is. That's a problem. It's an artifact card. Deck. Yeah, not card. Deck. Draw. Weird, huh? He's actually milling himself. I'm not getting any land. I have to get a land, so I can't just cast Gadwick. Need to cast the... I need him to build again. That's what I want. Alright. Get him in troubles, actually. Well, that's it for the day. It's been a bit of a long ride in a way, explaining this card. It's actually not a perfect card. Do not use this in for any competitive purposes. This is just for a fun deck, okay? Milling is always a fun deck because it's like you have at least a 50-50 chance of winning. And I have tried this deck so many times against any other decks that it loses on most of the times at the, like I said, the deck that utilizes the graveyard. Anyway, if If you have anything to say, any deck suggestion or anything, just comment down below. Do not forget to subscribe, like or dislike the video, support, and that will be all. See you in the next video. This is Poetic Dustbin. Good night to all you Homo sapiens out there, and thank you for watching. Bye.